Member for Chisholm.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise today to talk about marriage equality. I'm sure I'm not the only person in Australia who's enjoyed that wonderful feeling of a belly laugh brought on by watching Magda Szubanski, herself or in character mode. Magda has made me laugh so many times over the years, and recently she made me cry. This happened when she told the story of her friend with a cancer diagnosis who was denied being with her same-sex partner of many years during a treatment as she wasn't regarded as next of kin. I cried not only for her friend but for all those Australians who would have similar experiences. These people who in 10, 20 or 30 years' time may have stories like Magda Szubanski's friend, and whose stories will be depicted in movies in years to come, and we will all wonder why we hadn't sorted this earlier. Well, 2017 is the year when we can make this change and stop any more of these experiences happening to future generations of Australians. Mr Speaker, in my late 20s I was told by a doctor that I had cancer. They didn't know if it was cancer A or cancer B. If it was cancer A, it would be aggressive and terminal. Cancer B, on the other hand, was the best cancer to have, totally curable. It turned out to be cancer B, but they wouldn't know which it was until I had surgery in 10 days' time. The darkest 10 days of my life, but also the most loving. Why? Because during that time I had love and family all around me. Specifically during that time my partner Mike was my rock and my lifeline, and importantly during that time he asked me to marry him. My darkest hours became brighter simply by looking forward to a commitment of marriage. I felt safe, secure, loved and courageous. When I heard Magda's story, I despaired. I despaired because I simply felt it's not fair. Not fair that two loving people cannot get married in our great country, that two loving people are not able to have the equal rights at law that millions of Australians currently enjoy in their committed loving marriages. Some will say it's courageous and risky being so vociferous in supporting marriage equality as an MP of a marginal seat. Fighting for marriage equality is not about political courage. Rather, it's about standing for equality for all, regardless of their gender, race, sexuality or ethnicity. I personally promised hundreds of people before the election that under the Turnbull government we would ensure that all Australians would have a right to have their say on this issue, that their vote would count as much as mine. We have maintained the integrity of that promise to the Australian people. Australians are decent people and known around the world for their sense of humour, goodwill and camaraderie towards others. Respectful debate is the cornerstone of our democracy. Telling Australians how to vote is not the way to go, and some have done a disservice to their cause by their behaviour and overreaching statements. However, a yes vote is an acknowledgement that social mores change and should be reflected in that change to the law. Many predict the no vote will win because young voters who are more likely to vote yes would not post their vote, not being the postal generation. People said things such as they'll only do things online or on their mobile phones. I've never bought into these views. Being the technological generation doesn't make young people complacent and not passionate about issues. Young Australians are making their vote count. They are the future. Then there is the argument in the No campaign, which I find personally disturbing, namely that only a marriage between a man and a woman will ensure the protection of children. Children need two things in life, Mr Speaker: love and stability. Early in my legal career, when I practiced in family law, I saw firsthand that love and stability is not automatically afforded to children simply because they have a mother and a father. Love and stability are being provided to Australian children all over the country right now. The presence of love and stability is not limited to traditional nuclear families like my family. Rather, it's in the homes of single parents, widows, divorced and separated parents, same-sex parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles and special friends, regardless of their gender or sexuality. Marriage equality is about equality before the law. It's about fairness. It's about love and family. I hope that as Australians, when we watch that movie in the future, that all yes voters will feel that in 2017 they made their contribution to a fair, equal and modern Australia. I thank you, Mr Speaker.